Fairhope, did you know that just a few months ago, City Councilman Corey Martin signed a letter asking the White House to send foreign refugees to Fairhope? Despite public outcry, Corey Martin claimed he represented his constituents in his strong desire to welcome refugees. But when our town found out about this letter, we showed up. In large numbers, we stood before the city council to say, we disagree.
The reason we're here and all this uproar is because of the letter you signed. When you wrote it, you were a city councilman. You are now the president of the city council. And I would request that you write another letter and rescind your position and specifically state that you do not represent the city of Fairhope on this position. So I'm requesting that you sign another letter to rescind your position as a city council on that, please.
And I want to remind everyone why we're here. We're here because of a letter that you signed. We're not here because we're incompassionate or we don't have feelings or we don't care about people. And you know what? All I could think of when you were talking is that you were gaslighting every single one of us. So I'm going to read a little piece of the letter that you signed. We continually hear from our constituents that they believe in and support refugee resettlement, from greeting refugee families at the airport to assisting with English language classes or navigating bus lines. Our communities stand welcome. I don't remember you asking anybody that's here how they felt about that. And you signed a letter on behalf of your position representing our city. And that is a huge problem. If you're going to sign a letter like that and you represent our city, then you need to ask the constituents how they feel about it.
We were kind of made fun of because we bought into a hoax or given information. And I was also preached to. But don't make that fun of these people for being here.
Making fun of me.
I wasn't the only one, okay? And I'm just, sometimes you need to hear how you're coming across to your folks out here.
You're all saying, don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. We're not going to approve this. Don't worry about it. That's just platitudes. That's empty words with no teeth. Don't just try to calm us down. Give us answers.
We want to know if this city council plans on doing anything to stop this influx of sexually explicit behavior coming into Fairhope. Is that something that y'all are going to do? So I'll remind you that we're all watching and we're ready for you to stand up and do something, or we're ready for a change.
We're all a family. We all live in the same community. We're here as a family to protect ourselves and to protect each other. Because we do pay tax dollars and I was a single mom for 23 years. I don't want to pay for somebody else. I'm still paying for my own education, okay?
Boy, it looks like y'all stepped in it, didn't you? Okay, y'all are sitting up here all smug and everything. Tell us what we need to know. And for you to sit there and gaslight these folks, shame on you. This is our forum. We come to the city council to hear what's going on. You, I don't know if I trust you. I don't know how honest you are. Councilman Burrell, I don't know if you're honest.
I was talking about the developer.
It doesn't matter. It's still the same principle. I don't know if you're honest. I don't know if you're honest.
The state of Alabama is experiencing an unanticipated influence of tens of thousands of Haitians to small towns where resources are already strained, and the sudden surge of people has created safety, health, infrastructure, and economic concerns for residents. Hundreds of Haitian children have entered local school systems fluent only in Haitian Creole, leaving teachers and administration at a loss to how to manage their needs.
They were both killed in the accident. Both Christians, both community servants. One a teacher, one a nurse. One single mother of 2 young children, now being raised without parents. The driver of the initial vehicle, in reverse, was a Haitian immigrant. He was the only driver that day to survive. He couldn't speak English to describe the account of the accident. If my desire to help others endangered my own children by removing the locks on my doors and welcoming handfuls of young men, would that be the right thing to do in the name of compassion? but should strive to come together in understanding and wisdom to handle the issues around us and ensure that we aren't standing on some ambiguous moral high horse before we ensure that the compassion that we hold for others is given to those already in front of us.
We've been coming for 2 years talking about the books in the library, and the response we got was nothing. Hardly even a response. We would try to have dialogue with you all, and you just wouldn't even respond. We sent emails. We sent text messages. We offered pictures, videos. What did we get? Nothing. But that was it. Never heard from you guys again. But tonight, you tell us you're gonna communicate because we've gotta communicate. Yet, you have done none of this throughout the entire 2-year process that I have come and others have come and shared different things with you. What lends us to believe that you're going to communicate?
And let me tell you something, it happens quick and it happens fast. And I'm really glad the folks here came out, even though it wasn't really on the agenda. I had to leave my beautiful West Coast, which I love. And if it wasn't so woke, I would still be there. And I will be damned if I'm gonna come down here and let it happen here. So you guys are all on guard now, because all of us don't want this to happen here. You can't just bring thousands of people into a community and expect a community just to be able to absorb that.
Once you open the door, they will come by the thousands. You have no idea what the West Coast is like. No idea. What you see on TV, times it by 20, because that's what you're gonna get.
All I have to say to all of you, including you, Mayor, is you have awakened the sleeping giant. And I want to put you all on notice. If you don't start doing your job, you will all be out next year. Thank you.
That seems to be the theme of this council. You have failed. You have failed to protect our children from pornography in the children's section of the library. You have failed to protect our Fairhope sense of family by allowing sexually inappropriate strip shows in our taxpayer-funded civic center. Mr. Martin failed to support the free speech of Fairhope citizens by offering an amendment to do away with this public comment period. It is evident that this council refuses to take a stand. You're all on notice. Your jobs are going to be short.
What's the answer on that?
No, we don't have anybody.
You don't have an answer. Thank you.
And all I want to say about the whole situation is we, the people, everybody has one vote.
We want you to uphold your duty to us as citizens, okay? Or we'll find somebody who will. And that's not a threat, that's a promise.
The council was dismissive, defensive, combative. They accused us of falling for rumors.
We do not support a massive relocation of refugees or resettling here in Fairhope. I mean, I think Councilman Martin explained the letter he signed a couple of years ago, and but the article that sort of stirred this up, I just don't think it had any direct basis.
So just imagine my surprise when I started getting text messages and emails that we were inviting immigrants to live in our city. And folks, let me just tell you, that's just patently false. It's just false.
The letter is real. It was signed by City Councilman Corey Martin, asking that foreign refugees be sent to our already overburdened town.
I want to speak about the rumors. Councilman Martin is one of those well-meaning people who signed on to what he thought was a simple petition to support the women and children impacted by the Ukrainian war. He never intended to bring legal immigrants to our area. Councilman Martin signed this as an individual citizen and not as a public official.
Corey Martin signed the letter as a Fairhope City Councilman using his official title.
The thing that I did, I have no idea that it was going to turn into this. I had no idea. All I wanted to do was support that particular program because there were people that needed that program. And they asked me, and I said yes. If you want to fault me for that, I'll take it. Come on, guys.
these stories on social media, they take legs, as Jack said, and I think when I first saw it, I kind of laughed about it. I thought, oh, that's crazy. Why would anybody put that out there? It's almost too much to hold down and not smile about it. But we don't have any basis for where this is coming from, where this is reported. Nothing credible.
Three weeks later, the citizens of Fairhope were still looking for answers.
But I remember listening to some of the citizens and talking about concerns around, books in the library, that are inappropriate or they feel that are inappropriate. The Pride Parade, just several things that people brought up. And I feel like nobody got answers back, and I don't see it on the agenda. So how do you all follow up with the citizens with our concerns that we have, as opposed to just sitting there, yep, okay, yeah, thank you for sharing, and then we walk off and then nothing's ever done?
I think that there were a lot of rumors that flew around, at that time, and we have taken some actions since that meeting. So I'll ask the mayor to share those actions which have been taken.
So one thing that we did was we did send a letter to the Department of Homeland Security and to the Department of Justice. Obviously, when we left the meeting, we talked to our federal officials because immigration is not something we deal with locally.
Sometimes there are things that are brought up in the council meeting by the public that are issues or concerns that they're having. And even though we may discuss that concern in the council meeting, a lot of times it's things that are outside of what the council has the ability to control. There are some really concerning things going on, obviously, and people being allowed or brought into this country that are being designated as legal, even though they're not technically complying with the requirements that we have historically applied.
Would that information had just come out tonight, was it planned to come out at some point? Because if it had not been asked, would that have been communicated to our public? You just shared with us information that we think is very important, but it wasn't shared at any other point during this meeting. So were you just prepared to share that because just in case we showed up to ask that question?
Well, to answer you, sort of, yeah. Well, if nobody asked the question, we'll save that for another time. But if it gets asked, then go for it. So,
well, why would there be a better time? I don't understand. This is the time. This is an urgent question. This is an urgent issue. And for you did, but you only did that because you were pressed to do that. You didn't do that voluntarily during this meeting. This is, you talked at the last meeting about communication. And this is information that should be presented in a meeting like this. We shouldn't have to come and ask the question to get the answer. This is on the top of people's minds. There were hundreds, maybe 400 plus people at this meeting 2 weeks ago. They didn't show up for any other reason other than they deeply care about our community. The point I'm making is this is vital information that could be of tremendous value for residents of our area, and it should have been shared in this meeting without having to have been provoked so that you were holding it back only if needed. I think Mr. Martin, who obviously is not here tonight, should issue a formal apology to the citizens of this area for the actions that he took. He is showing himself to be highly irresponsible. I do not believe he's qualified to be a member of this city council.
We listened as Corey Martin told us he was spiritually superior, and that's why he signed the letter. Even after multiple requests from Fairhope residents, he still refuses to retract it. The letter is still public. Thankfully, our border is more secure now, but ask yourself, do you trust Corey Martin to make decisions for you? Is this the kind of leadership you want for Fairhope? No one on the current council stood up for our concerns about Corey Martin's letter. They all told us it was nothing, and we were silly for being concerned. Do we re-elect these same city council incumbents? Or do we choose new leaders who will listen be accountable, communicate, and most of all, put Fairhope first? Because right now, our council is dismissive, argumentative, arrogant, lacking in judgment, and out of step with the people they're supposed to serve.
Did not help.
From the, well, not
Okay, I was
council,
gonna
the
say
whole
the city
council,
council
the
Fairhope
city
did not
council
send any
member,
letter.
the city council member, Will Answorth's office said that.
And we need some common sense. We need some common sense is what we need.
We must protect our town, our families, our future. It's time to vote out arrogance and vote in leaders who will always put Fairhope first.